Okay, I've gotten to page 85, and I'm still in the feet section. So she's talking about ancient religions and the practices that they did in worshiping their idols. They had to keep their sanctuaries, their temples, clean, ritually clean and pure. The idols were cared for, washed, and anointed. And in order to approach your idol, your thing of veneration, you had to be ritually cleaned and purified. People had to wash their feet in order to be physically connected with the divine. And so around page 82, she gets into this discomfort that Christians have had with the washing of the feet. And how, like in my church, they try to explain it away as this was what servants did. That's not what she sees. When Jesus washes his disciples' feet at the Last Supper in the Gospel of John, it is to be read as an act of servile humility, enacting the deliberate self-abasement of the Master Jesus to his servants, the disciples. But in the highly loaded imagery of the Gospel, Jesus' actions also carry a far weightier religious freight, and they are not quite as humble as they might appear. Skipping down to here, realizing he has to make things clear, Jesus tells the disciple he is making their feet ritually clean. In other words, physically ready to enter into the presence of the divine, with he himself being that divine thing that they are idolizing. This is giving me narcissistic Joseph Smith vibes, especially because my brain goes to the washing and anointings in the LDS temple, which I've already been kind of freaking out over because basically you're watching the sacrificial animal, and that would be you on the altars of the temple. But with this feet washing thing, my brain went to another ordinance few Mormons know about called the second anointing. I grew up with this because my parents were Bruce R. McConkie fans. It's also called getting your calling and election made sure. The apostle, one of the 12, washes the feet of the man, there's a couple, and the man's wife washes his feet. Now, if you apply Dr. Stavrakopoulou's argument to this, the same thing is happening in the second anointing. When the prophet humbly kneels down and washes the male candidate's feet, he's actually saying, "Prepare to worship me, O man." And when the wife then in turn washes her husband's feet, whose feet were just washed by the apostle, it's basically, "Worship me, O woman." And this fits with the delegation taught to you in the temple endowment, that it goes from Elohim to Jehovah, to Peter, James, and John, to Adam, in a divine hierarchical MLM. Then I get to page 85 and find out what feet means. Euphemistically, it's the eggplant. And just what Ruth was saying to Naomi about uncovering Boaz's feet.